This is All India Radio, Mokokchung at 100.9 MHz on FM band. And today, for a discussion on the Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition Act 1989, it is a great privilege and honor for the All India Radio Mokokchung and for me personally to be seated here with the Grand Old Man of Nagaland, who has been the governor of various states of India and also the iconic former Chief Minister of Nagaland, Shri Dr. S.C Jamir. And before we start our discussion, I would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to have this wonderful time and discussion with you, sir. When the decision was made to have this discussion with you about the NLTP Act, well, there were quite some contradictions that there are more important issues to be discussed with a person like you. Somehow, I feel that it is as pertinent as any other burning issues presently in our state. So, sir, from your perspective as well, what do you say?
The problem is very simple, but people are making hue and cry about Nagaland Prohibition Act. When it was enacted under the pressure of the church leaders, I told them very frankly and openly also, and even in Mokokchung in a public meeting, yes, we are going to enforce this act, but it will fail. Why? I gave several reasons. In the 30s, when there was a revival movement in America, they have also imposed this Prohibition Act, but it was a total failure. Even in India, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Bihar, all of them have tried, but it has totally failed. Why? Because it has nothing to do with religion. Alcohol, it is used in medicine also, and it is the diet, especially in European countries. And therefore, especially in Nagaland, it was very wrong to presume that it is a part of our religion. Yes, drunkenness is bad, but moderation in everything will not harm neither the family, nor the individual, nor the society. But we have, I think, our church leaders thought that if we impose this prohibition, people will go to heaven. I think that was a conception. Very extreme view of some of the preachers at that time. And that also ours, our preachers. So very extreme. Secondly, it was motivated not only because of this social pressure, but because of jealousy also. In the past, it was in the hands of the Sadarjis. Then it was handed over to Angami. Then it was taken over by two our gentlemen. But all through the years rolled by, in the hands of these non-locals, nor non-ours, our missionaries, some of them, I think, maintain stoic silence on this. But when it landed in the hands of the ours, I think their conscience has woken up and said that provision should be enforced in Nagaland. They had hunger strike near that assembly hall. So we have decided to impose this Prohibition Act. But that time we have told them certain things. Yes, government will act. But side by side, church leaders also, you should do your own duty and responsibility. You educate the public. Now we are all Christians, and you are the shepherd. We are the sheep. So you have to tend your sheep properly so that people don't go astray from what you have decided to be the only way to control society. That was our condition laid down to them. Now, what had happened? Our people switched over to drugs. And drugs menace has totally ruin a generation of Nagas. And even today, we have not been able to get rid of this menace from our society. Even though people have realized the danger of these drugs, and yet neither by the government, nor by the civil societies, nor by the church have been able to uproot the menace of drugs in our land. And that was, I should say, one of the products of this prohibition. Secondly, those people who drinks, they'll drink. So they have to find out where to get alcohol. So our nearest neighbor is Assam, where there is no prohibition. Now, Gautkati has become the hotbed of all these illegal activities. Number one, Naga people are paying double of what they should have paid in Nagaland. They are paying it to Assam. Indirectly, we are losing, I think, about 1 million tax from this prohibition. Secondly, black marketing, whether it is underground or overground, any group, now they have connection with those wine producers and Gautkati, and they are supplying unlimited amount of this drinks, whether it is whiskey or rum or any drinks, unlimited, because there is no law to control them now. It is very difficult to control now, because as far in the paper, people don't drink alcohol in Nagaland. Whereas in practice, we are drinking much more than what we have been drinking in the past. Because even in the Bible, thou shalt not do, it is there. But when we said, don't do it, then the urges are more. Similarly, when it is prohibited, then black marketing, they are bringing loads of the loads in connivance with high-ups, in connivance with underground. So, Nagaland, there's no dirt of the drinks now. Not only that, even those people who have strong connection with the high-up, they started bottling blunt in Dimapur. They are caught, but we don't hear anything about the action taken neither by the police, nor by the department, nor by the government. In this way, it goes on, because we have enforced prohibition. So everything is prohibited. I think even to take action is prohibited, most probably. So that is what I want to explain. Now, we read lots of articles and statements from various angles, whether to allow or to prohibit. And people are trying to rope in the church leaders, and they are seeking their advice or opinion. So I have been telling them, in the Bible it is said very clearly, whenever people vomit, they never return to vomit, unless animal litter. Only dogs return to their vomit. Church leaders, whether rightly or wrongly, they have already vomited in 1969. And why are you asking church leaders to take back that vomit which they have already done? They will not do it. And you are wrongly asking the wrong people, number one. It is not necessary to ask civil society this and that. I think there is a very simple method. The act was passed by Nagaland Legislative Assembly. And it is the only law-making body in Nagaland. And the composition of this body is elected members of the people. So it is the duty of the legislatures, the government, whether prohibition really helps the people or not. And by lifting, whether this will also, we should be able to contain or control flow of liquor in the state. They should examine. So why should we ask the church leaders, civil societies, ho-hos about this? They are elected to carry on the administration. They are elected to design, to frame policies for the benefit of the people of Nagaland. And therefore, it is the sole responsibility of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly to decide. And it's a very simple method. You try to analyze what had happened since 69 till 2020. Then you examine whether it has really helped or it has done more damage. Then after that you decide. So I feel that Nagaland Legislative Assembly should not sleep over it and let them review and take decisions once and for all. That is my advice.
Sir, thank you so much for giving us the advice as well as for the narration from the genesis about the NLTP Act from your point of view. Well, so as you have said yourself, the church leaders went on to protest up to the extent of dharna and hunger strike. So I believe those were the reasons among many for which the Nagaland Legislative Assembly were also forced to pass this act.
We were compelled to do it.
Yes, sir. So can you share some instances which had forced you to such an extent while the NLTP Act was passed?
Just to respect the sentiment of the churches. We say yes, because in Nagaland we are all Christians. And if the church leaders, they feel so seriously about this and they feel so much of sanctity over it, then let us oblige them. That's how we pass that act.
And was there any split of opinion amongst the members in the Legislative Assembly when this act was discussed?
No, we just passed.
So it was a unanimous decision.
Because we knew that it will fail.
So you knew it all along that it will fail. And also, as you are updated with the state of our state at the moment, if you may suggest, do you think that we could and should curb the NLTP Act in one go or follow the model of some of the northeastern states who have done away with liquor banning acts in their own respective states?
You don't require the stages.
Okay, sir.
You revoke that act, then you limit this wine shop. And even in Delhi, they used to issue only limited bottles per wine shop weekly. And when things are available, I think less people will drink.
Yes, sir.
It's psychological also.
We have already discussed about the involvement of the churches as well as the pressure from different quarters who had wanted to do away with the sales of liquor in Nagaland. Yet today, as we look into the ground reality, there are numerous loopholes. And not actually trying to point fingers or blame any group or organization or functionaries, but where is the loophole and the cause for the failure of this act, according to you, sir?
You know, liquor is a universal drink. Universally, they have tried, wherever necessary. They failed because when it is a universal, individual state cannot control. If you control the entire India as a prohibited area, yes, possibility. Now you have prohibited here, but Manipur, Assam, neighboring, they are producing. So how can you? So unless the whole country is imposed this prohibition, no single state will be able to do it. So why should we try for impossibility? Let us go along with others in such a way that we can strengthen church leadership and societies. It all depends upon the self-control. Whether to drink or not to drink, it all depends upon, one is self-control. Another point is the kind of economy that you have. Because people who are frustrated, at least they want to find some way. So they get drunk. So we have to improve our economy. And when people are fully engaged in their work, yes, after the work, for health they will drink, but not to kill their worries. So it depends upon the economy of the state. Then it will be lessened. In America, yeah, they drink, but not like us. We don't find so much of drunkard there. And in every meal they give also. So I think we have to enlarge our perspective about this Prohibition Act also. Let us not that we are the only sinner. And that will be wrong.
As we have already discussed the scenario in which this act was passed and also the involvement of the churches and the religious groups, I cannot help but wonder, and sir, this may be a bit of a personal question to you also, but did you have any religious inclination while passing the NLTP Act?
There was no religious inclination.
Okay.
We only respected the views of our elders because it is not a part of religion also. We should not mix up this drinking with religion. Yes, drunkenness is not good. But many of the church leaders, I think, knowingly or unknowingly, I don't know, they feel that it is part of our religion. No.
Thank you, sir, for that. Now, sir, after the 2020 lockdown opened, there were a lot of news headlines and articles from different parts of the country that the state earned this much and that much of revenue on the first day of the opening of the wine stores after the lockdown. Now, if Nagaland did not really have this prohibition and that the government was also generating revenue through the sales of liquor, then how do you envision Nagaland?
Actually, you can expect miracles out of this. It will be just usual because in other states, they are different people. But our people, actually it was a part of our, this forefathers. In our days, this rice beer, it was treated as empty milk. And people never got drunk so much. And it was healthy also. But imported liquor, people, this is a new thing. So people have started in excess. You are supposed to drink only 1 bag, 2 bags. But in Nagaland, they started drinking bottle. That was the difference. Excessive. And I think people have learned to be moderate also. It is unnecessary now, unnecessary. Whether it is egg or not, people are drinking much more than what they are drinking. They are paying much more than what they are supposed to pay. Then what is the benefit we are getting? We are getting nothing.
So, sir, in your personal view, should the government be bold enough to take this step?
What is to be afraid of that? When it doesn't work, when it brings more problem for the people, what is the hesitance? What is the reluctance? And whom should we be afraid of? Because they are there to decide. If it is good for the people, decide. If they think that it is still premature, it is up to them. And don't discuss about this.
Thank you, sir, for that. Well, listeners, I hope that the discussion will help us to understand and shape our view about this NLTP Act. Now, sir, as we come to wind up our discussion, is there anything more you'd like to say?
Yes. Firstly, we must not mix up this issue with religion, number one. Secondly, we should also remember that because of our economy, thousands of people are unemployed. And out of frustration, this is one way they drink. And thirdly, I think people should learn to be moderate, not only in drinking, but even in other aspect of life also. Killing is also extreme action, isn't it? So our people have been, for the last so many years, one is killing, violence, intimidation, kidnapping, threat, exploitation, extortion. We have been harping all these years only on negatives. And therefore, I appeal to the people of Nagaland, especially the younger generation, and particularly to the underground, that should we not restore a normal life for the people of Nagaland, so that we may not talk about henceforth drunkenness, extortion, then intimidation, all this. And this would be possible only when peace is restored in Nagaland and people are allowed to carry on their normal activities. And when they can carry on their normal duties, activities, then our economy will surely improve. And people with good economy will not waste their time in drinking or anything vice. And therefore, it is high time that the government of the day should realize that Naga people should have peace in the land. Naga people should be fully engaged in their normal activities, unhindered by any elements whatsoever. And thirdly, we have to catch up the rest of the people only when we also can develop our vision in tune with the contemporary realities, both economics, politics, social, and religion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your advice. Well, listeners, this is All India Radio Mokokchung, and you have just been a part of the discussion on the Nagaland Liquor Total Prohibition Act 1989 with the Grand Old Man of Nagaland, who had been the governor of various states of India and also the iconic former Chief Minister of Nagaland, Lok Shri Dr. S.C Jamir. Once again, thank you so much for your time, sir. May God continue to bless you.
Thank you.